Welcome back to my channel. I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have not subscribed, why not? I ask you to also hit the notification bell on the side. Happy Thursday. I just have a couple of questions for you. Do you want to be great? Do you want to leave a legacy? Do you want to accomplish something bigger than you? The answer is simple. Yes. Hopefully the answer is yes. So how do you do this? You do this by serving. If you want to leave a legacy, you have to lead a life of service. In Mark chapter 10, verse 42 to 45, it reads, "So Jesus called them together and said, 'You know the rulers in this world lord it over their people, and officials flaunt their authority over those under them. But among you, it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must first be a servant. And whoever wants to be first among you must be a slave of everyone else. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many.'" The world is searching for people to serve them, but as believers of Christ, we are meant to serve the world. In the 14th century, the bubonic plague raged havoc in Europe and Asia. Some Christians decided to run away and protect themselves, but there were some Christians, even though their life was on the line, they decided to serve their neighbors. So what happened was the priest was supposed to do the rites of funerals, but the priest got scared and didn't bury the dead. So now Christians took it on themselves to bury their neighbors. They put their life on the line, and many of them died. It's not like they were protected or anything like that. Many of them died because of the plague, but they followed the command of Jesus to serve and love. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10, it says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." So you have a decision to make. With the gift God gave you, are you going to choose to be selfish, or are you going to choose to serve? God has given everyone a gift. Some he's given them the ability to teach. Others he gave them the ability to cook. Others to do hair. Others to plan events very well. He gave other people the ability to speak well in front of people. But instead of us using our gift he has given us to serve, we begin to compare and compete with each other. We are not meant to compete and compare. We are meant to compliment others around us through our gifts. Let me let you know now that you would not be held accountable for your friends' gifts. You be held accountable for your gifts and how well did you use to serve people in your circle. Romans 12 verse 6 to 8 reads, "In his grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak with as much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility serious. And if you have the gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly." Whatever gift God has given you, use it to serve. So some of y'all's probably asking yourselves, where's the loophole? When don't I have to serve? Like I hear what you're saying, Edwin. I love this whole serving theme. So when do I not have to serve? The only time you're not required to serve is if your service will lead you or others to sin. Let's pause for a second. So everybody's always trying to figure out, when do I not need to serve? The only time that you can't serve or you're not required to serve is if your service leads you or other people into sin, which means you have to serve people that offend you. You have to serve people that you don't like. You have to serve people you don't agree with. You have to serve people that stabs you in the back. You have to serve people. In Luke chapter 8, verse 27 to 28, it says, "But to you who are listening, I say, love your neighbors. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you." Let's go down to verse 35. Verse 35 says, "But love your neighbors, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be the children of the Most High, because He is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. Be merciful as your Father is merciful." The way you show your love is by serving. Today, when this is being recorded, today is Holy Thursday. What is Holy Thursday? Holy Thursday is the Thursday before Good Friday. What is Good Friday? Good Friday is the day that Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross for our sins. On this very night, 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago, Jesus was betrayed, and He fed and washed the feet of the person who is going to betray Him. And I could understand if Jesus did not know who was going to betray Him, but Jesus knew everything and still decided to serve Judas Iscariot, the person who is going to betray Him, for 30 pieces of silver. And if you equate that, 30 pieces of silver in today's time is roughly a little bit over $200. So Jesus decided to serve the person who is going to betray Him for $200. If Jesus can serve a man who's going to betray Him to his death, then what is our excuse? What is our excuse? God has called us to serve, so let us serve faithfully. I want to give you 3 don'ts when it comes to serving. Point number 1, don't think of yourself highly than what you really are. Don't think you're too high up to serve. Don't think now because I have this position, I don't have to serve. Don't think since God answered all my prayers and He gave me all the desires in my heart, I don't have to serve anymore. It doesn't matter how blessed you are, you still have to serve. Romans 12 verse 3 says, "Because of the privilege and authority God has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than what you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourself, measuring yourself by faith God has given us." The second don't is don't seek rewards or recognition for your service. There's some people that just serve so they can be seen. They just serve so they can get promoted. They just serve so they can post about it on their Instagram. But I'm here to tell you right now that when you do that, you rob yourself of a reward that is in heaven. Matthew 6 verse 1 says, "Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people, in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven." So don't seek rewards and recognition, just seek the pleasure of your Father who's in heaven. The third don't think that a certain person is not worth serving. I said it one more time. Don't think that a certain person is not worth serving. Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 says, "So God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created them. Male and female He created them." So anyone who is an image bearer of God is worth serving. So your boss who doesn't see your value is worth serving. So your best friend who slept with your boyfriend a couple months ago, she's worth serving. Your father who wasn't there when you're growing up, he is worth serving. Why? Because they are image bearers of God. The homeless, the disenfranchised, the marginalized, the atheist, the person living an alternative lifestyle, they're all worth serving. Why? Because they are image bearers of God. The same blood that saved me and you is the same blood that can save them. But how will they know God unless you serve them? How would they know God unless we demonstrate His love through our service? So don't deny people your service because they don't sound like you, they don't look like you, they don't think like you, but instead serve them because they are image bearers of God. Remember, when you serve them, you serve Jesus. When you serve them, you serve Jesus. Matthew 25, verse 35 to 40, it says, "For I was hungry, and you fed me. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me into your home. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and you visited me." Then the righteous ones will reply, "Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and fed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink, or a stranger and show you hospitality, or naked and give you clothing? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will say, "I tell you the truth. When you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you have done it to me." So when you're serving in your community, when you're serving in your church, when you're serving in your workplace, when you're serving in a grocery store, when you're serving in your family, when you're serving in the streets, please remember that you're serving Jesus Himself. It was once said, if serving others is below you, leadership is beyond you. May I submit to you, if serving others is below you, legacy is beyond you. I want to leave you with this verse. Galatians 5, verse 13. It reads, "For you have been called to live in freedom, my brothers and sisters. But don't use your freedom to satisfy your sinful natures. Instead, use your freedom to serve one another in love." So if you want to be great, and if you want to leave a legacy, you must serve. If you have any prayer requests, drop it in the comment section below. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.